Hey guys, welcome to the very first episode and the premiere of the ALS Association's season Sunflower Hour. I'm Season. I get to be the one to take you through this all night and be your host. I hope you guys have a fabulous time because I know I've been so excited waiting for this to happen. Before we jump into everything, I do want to tell you guys really quickly. I don't know if you're new to Twitch or not, but if you check out the right corner of your screen, there's a comment section. Please feel free to drop us comments. Let us know who's watching, where you guys are from, any questions you might have. This is live, so I'm kind of jumping around in all different areas. But we already have people say, this is so awesome. So we have Kevin watching from Bali, Indonesia. We are truly worldwide at this point. Hey, Kevin, thank you so much for tuning in. I am so excited too. Hey, Casey, I love this. So you guys keep doing this, keep popping these comments in, and I will try my best to see them as we're going through the night. Now, for those of you that are tuning in, thank you so much. I'm so happy that all of you are here with us to celebrate the very first episode of so many more to come. Now, ALS is sometimes a heavy topic, and we here like to make it fun, and we like to see the best and the bright side in all of this, but ALS does suck. Let's just say it how it is. For those of you that don't know what ALS is, it's also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, and there is absolutely no cure. This is why the ALS Association, what they are doing is so important on trying our best to get there, to find a cure, to find treatment, because there currently is no cure. And this disease, in no way, shape, or form does it discriminate. It can hit anybody, anytime, any age, any race. It comes for anything. Oh, hi from Barrington, Chloe. Thanks for tuning in. I love this. I love this interactive thing that's happening tonight. Well, again, so ALS basically at the very basic principles is a neurodegenerative disease that attacks the motor neurons. So very simply put, we basically have motor neurons that go from our brain to our spinal cord to our muscles, telling our body to move, and ALS attacks those. So as the disease progresses, it basically renders you completely paralyzed. And as the disease continues to go on, you eventually are unable to breathe. Now you still have all of your senses, all of your memories, all of your thoughts, your mind is completely intact, but you are truly a prisoner in your own body. So you can feel touch, but you can't react to it. Again, this is why the ALS Association, the work that they do is so important, because it's getting us closer and closer as the days go on to finding a cure. And that's what we want. We want nobody else suffering from ALS. So that's just a little background, and actually a crazy fact that I like to share with everybody. Every 90 minutes, someone's diagnosed with ALS, and every 90 minutes, somebody loses that battle with ALS. So in the course of the Sunflower Hour tonight, as we are talking, we are going to lose someone else from the disease, and someone new is going to be diagnosed. So yet again, you're going to hear me saying it because I'm so passionate about this. What the ALS Association does is so, so important. So thank you guys for tuning in, for being a part of this. Hi from Wheaton, Julie. Thank you guys for being a part of this, and I hope you guys love the show. So let's talk about our first guest. Oh my gosh, I get so excited. I could not think of a better woman to come on and be the very first guest for the first episode. She is such a powerhouse. She is so smart. She is hilarious. She is talented and has the biggest heart of gold of probably anyone I've ever met. Let me just tell you, this girl runs marathons, 26.2 miles, and she does it every year for us. And by the end of it, not a single hair is out of place. I don't see a single drop of sweat on her. I don't even see her out of breath. I'm totally convinced that she is superhuman. She is just the sweetest, the most adorable, positive ray of sunshine out there. I'm so happy that she's here with us tonight. So let's bring on our very first guest of the night, our very own Run to Defeat ALS coordinator and our volunteer coordinator, Sarah Brandt. So welcome to the show.
Hey, Season. Hey, everyone. I'm so thrilled to be here.
I am so excited you're here with us tonight. Like I said, I couldn't think of a better woman to kick this show off with tonight. So let's get going with the fact I was giving people a little bit of information. I think you heard. Hi, Sarah from Casey. I love it. I was giving them a little bit of background for people that don't know what ALS is and kind of what the disease is, how it progresses. But for those people that aren't familiar with it, specifically what the chapter does, can you tell us a little bit about what the ALS Association and the Chicago chapter specifically does?
Sure, yes. So we are one of 37 chapters in the network. We are part of the National ALS Association. The Greater Chicago chapter, we serve those living in the Chicagoland area, Northern Illinois, and Central Illinois. Basically, we are there as a resource to those living with ALS and their families, caregivers, loved ones throughout the entire journey. We come alongside them. We have a team of care service coordinators, nurses, speech pathologists, social workers that really do get to know the family and help them through this with home visits, virtual now, of course, but providing care services all free to those people. Support groups, we loan equipment. Again, just really coming alongside them throughout the journey because, ALS, it does progress quickly, it changes rapidly. And so, we're there through every step of the way for them. And then in addition to providing that critical care, we also advocate for ALS on a local and national level. We're in DC annually to help with legislation and funding, which leads me to kind of the third big thing that we do is fund research. I think Susan mentioned, sadly, tragically, there is no cure right now for ALS, and there's really not a lot of treatment options. And so we need to change that. And so we fund global research because that's the goal, right? Is to just end ALS.
Absolutely. And I love it. I remember at one of the events we were talking, and some of the ALS organizers that had started this had said their goal is to shut the ALS Association down. They want to end it. They want, as soon as this cure is found, the ALS Association is gone because we will have completed the mission and cured ALS. That's going to be such an exciting day.
Absolutely.
You did say, and I want people to really let this sink in. Every single thing that you guys offer is free of charge. There's no charge to any ALS patient for these services.
Absolutely. Yeah, which is huge.
So everything that is donated, every dollar that is donated, every time of your volunteer service time, everything is to help people in need, and there's really no cost to the patients, and that is so amazing. I love it. How did you find your way out of all the jobs in the world, out of all the associations and causes in the world? How did you find your way to the ALS Association?
Yes, so I became involved as a volunteer. My grandfather, he was diagnosed with ALS in 2008. He was in Washington State, and so he was served by the Evergreen chapter there. I was here in Chicago, and so I connected with the Greater Chicago chapter. They put me right to work volunteering. I got involved with the Walk to Defeat ALS, and then it kind of slowly evolved into a part-time job where I get to, make this my life's work right now.
I love it. You got sucked in because once you're a part of this family, there's no leaving.
Yes, exactly. And, it's a family full of love and full of heart. It's not a family that you ever want to be a part of, sadly, but we are all there for one another. And I feel so honored to be, in this role and then part of this journey.
Mm-hmm. And I know you've made a difference in so many people's lives. So there's so many people that are so happy that you're a part of this journey for them. So you are the coordinator for the runs. Let's talk a little bit about that. What's the Shamrock Run?
Oh, yes. So that is a big part of my job is with all of these runs and endurance things and getting people involved that way. Again, ALS patients, they lose their ability to move their bodies. And so I think, finding people that want to move for those that cannot is really a beautiful thing. And so I do feel so privileged to be in this role. But we have, it's March, St. Patrick's Day, Shamrock runs. And so we have a few that we have folks getting involved in. And so they're all virtual at this point, but we have the Bank of America Shamrock Shuffle. It's an 8K run. There's a couple all community events that we're also charity partners with. Everybody's Irish 5K and the St. Patty's 5K, 10K, or half marathon. So looking for something to fill your days this month and do it for a good cause, there's a few options out there for you.
Absolutely. And everyone's been stuck inside with COVID. So this is the perfect excuse to get training, to get out there, to get involved in a run. And you made such a great point. You're running for the people with ALS that can't do it themselves. And there is something really incredible about that. I've been in those situations, and I've been at some of the support groups where we cheer the runners on. And there is this aura and there's this spirit around just the family that we are running for. It's very exciting. What you're doing is just so incredible. I love this. Well, how can people find out more information? Let's say they get excited, they see this and they want to run, they want to sign up. Where are they going to go for that?
Yes, so you can always go to our website, alsachicago.org, and there's a Get Involved tab. And so then you click on the run. You can email me direct, Sarah, SARAH, at alsachicago.org. You can call me, go old school. 312-932-0000. But yeah, so basically it's, letting us know that you want to do this, registering for the race. We'll provide you with some tools, some sweet swag, an easy fundraising platform so you can tell people what you're choosing to do. Again, not only are you doing something powerful for yourself, participating in a race, but then you're also doing it for a greater cause.
You are doing it for a great cause. And I love it. So you brought up, you get some fun swag. What is it like? So somebody signs up today and wants to become a runner for any one of the numerous options to run for our chapter and our team. What is it like to be a runner?
Well, we love to treat our runners to special things because, again, they're
superstar.
They're doing a lot for us. So we'll send them a little goodie bag in the mail. We can connect them with some training if they want, any help in that department. And then, of course, sharing their story with their fundraising, we can help them with that too. But yeah, there's always some fun goodies involved.
There is. And even I don't know if things have changed now with COVID, but the Chicago Marathon in the past, when I've been to those, I mean, you treat them incredible. There's masseuses there, there's massages, there's family areas that they can come in and watch the race from a nice, beautiful, sweet area. There's endless treats, snacks. I mean, you're VIP all the way.
Yes, not to discount anyone that does any smaller distance race, but the Chicago Marathon is like the grand finale of running, right? And so those folks are going 26.2 miles for ALS. And so, yeah, we really treat them right on race day, and we want it to be a very comfortable experience for them. So we do try to, get all that good stuff going for them on marathon day. So if anyone's feeling like that's something they want to tackle this year, October 10th is the race in person. They're full go for, planning. And so we are hopeful that that will happen and everyone can gather in the streets of Chicago. And we have 165 spots for our Team ALS charity runners. And so it's a great group and a special thing to be able to do.
Yeah, and those spots go really fast, surprisingly. I mean, in the past, those spots go so quickly. So that is something you have to get in on that now before they're all gone.
You do, yes. We're about half full, and we have about 2 more months to fill the remaining ones. So yes, if you're thinking about it, if you're on the fence, let me know. We'd love to get you hooked up.
And then for people like me, because the idea of running in general sounds terrifying, I'm not gonna lie, and especially 26 miles, it sounds awful. We have all these great walks. This is so fun. Let's talk a little bit about the walks, because that experience in itself, it's all the same excitement, but you don't have to run. And that's
exactly.
Because we actually have one. So our Chicago Walk kickoff is April 13th, so it's coming up. It's kind of around the corner, and it's a virtual walk this year because COVID is still messing everything up. It's still making things look a little bit differently. So last year, the walks had to transition into turning into virtual walks, and there's going to be that way again this year. But it's so much fun because you get to get out in your neighborhood and get the people around you, maybe get your family members, and you guys get to walk past around your neighborhood or a park, and you get to do it all together virtually with people from around the state. And that's coming up in June. But like I said, the kickoff is actually April 13th. So let's talk a little bit about the walks. Tell us about those experiences.
Yes. So it is, it's sad because we love to gather with all of our patients and ALS superheroes and supporters. And so because we're not able to do that, again, this year we are spreading it out. So we're going to have mini Walk to Defeat ALS events all throughout the Chicagoland area. And you can read more about that at web.alsa.org/Chicago Walk. But basically, you register. We send you a really great superhero supply box, so you have everything you need for your mini walk day, and we are there to guide you throughout. And yes, we would love to welcome anyone to the kickoff in April, just to learn more about it.
I don't want to interrupt you, but this is exciting. We're getting so many messages. So hello, I don't know, is that Luaro 2004? And how are you? We're great. How are you? Thank you for tuning in. And I was seeing some messages come in. So the Mazantis, hi guys. I saw that you're watching. Thank you so much. And then I think we had a donation that popped up. I don't know where it went. I'm so not tech savvy, you guys. So thanks for bearing with me in this live. Let's see. Yeah, thanks to the Albers crew for donating to our Tiffany campaign. Thank you guys so much. This is so exciting. I love seeing this where everybody is from. Aw, Susan and Sarah have such a passion. We really do. We really, really do. And I'm glad it's getting other people excited, seriously. And I know I was seeing people come in from, we had Kevin from Bali, Indonesia. I know we have some friends watching from Switzerland. We've got people from all over the place tuning in. So this is so exciting. Oh, Sarah, I just love you. I'm so happy that you're with the organization. What you're doing.
Susan, we love you. And I don't know that there's any better person for this role as hosting Season Sunflower Hour. It's so exciting.
I mean, I don't know if you could have it. It's got my name in it. So I don't know who else could be Season for Season Sunflower Hour. I feel
Perfect.
they couldn't replace me in this.
Love it.
Is there anything else you want to say, especially since we have people from all over the world? What do you want to say to them?
I guess just thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for wanting to learn more about ALS and what our chapter does and how you can help make a difference. There is that hope, that brightness is on the horizon for what is going on in ALS research and development. And again, we want to care for those people that are going through their own ALS journeys. But most importantly, we want that cure. And so we can only do that through awareness and funding. And so that's what all of our amazing viewers can help us with.
Absolutely. Sarah, thank you so much for joining us. And I could just talk to you all night. So
same.
I'm forcing myself to kick you off because I really would stay on talking to you all night long. But thank you so much for everything. I love you. The chapter loves you. And thank you for your passion and what you're doing. You're really making a huge difference.
Thank you, Susan. Bye, everyone.
I love this. Sorry, you guys. You see me as I'm adding things up. So this is fun. You'll get to see the progression of the show as it gets better. My goodness. So Sarah made a really great point that we are really in this race to get to the cure as soon as possible and help as many people as we can. And you guys are such a huge part of this. So I do want to direct you guys, if you head over to the About Us section on Twitch, you'll find this beautiful purple box, and it's going to give you all kinds of options. If you do feel so inclined and you want to make a donation tonight, you absolutely can. We would love it. We'd be so appreciative because, again, every single service that the ALS Association provides is completely free of charge. So your funding means so much, and it goes so far in the lives of everyone that is battling this disease. And there's really fun incentives on there. So you can get either a shout out on the show, you can get a thank you card. We've got some really cool stickers and some cool swag from the show. There's fun stuff like sponsoring an episode is an option. And also I don't know how I feel about this yet, but the Ice Bucket Challenge, I'm sure most of you have heard of it. You guys can actually sponsor a bucket and I will take all of them. So let's get like 100 buckets going and make me miserable. And I will stand there and I will take 100 buckets of ice water for ALS. So check it out. Make sure you go to the About Us section, find the purple box, and donate away, because what you guys are doing is really helpful and it's making a difference. So I appreciate you guys hanging with us. I appreciate you guys checking everything out. We're going to keep it rolling. We're going to get to our next guest. Let's welcome. Now, did you know that the military veterans are 2 times as likely to develop ALS? Patrick Doran, a security specialist for the U.S. Air Force, found himself as part of that very statistic. Patrick grew up in Orland Park, attended SIU, and had a love and profound respect for serving his country and all those that he encountered. And he always seemed to put others first. Patrick lost his battle with ALS last February, but his story and his memory and his legacy are going to live on forever. Joining us tonight is Patrick's sister, Erin Simpson. Please welcome Erin.
Hi, Susan.
Hi, Erin. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you so much for being here. And I get chills. I hate even reading that part when I have to talk about your brother lost his battle with ALS last February. Tell us a little bit about your brother.
My brother did not really have an easy life. When he was in the military, he lost an eye in a freak accident. And he had to then retire from the military and reinvent himself. He did a lot of different things trying to find his niche. He was a bartender. He was in sales, a DJ on the side. And eventually it all came around. He separated from his wife when they first, after a period of time. And he met a girl named Terry, and she ended up being the love of his life, and they got married, and they were married for about 3 years when he was diagnosed.
So what was that like when he was diagnosed with ALS? What was his experience like for him, for you guys, for the family?
It was crazy in that it was just started out as such a little thing. He had trouble when he put his hands on a table. He had trouble lifting one of his fingers, and he didn't know what it was. And then he went to the doctor to get it checked out. And eventually that was what the diagnosis came to be. And it was really, really crazy for me because I was working with a good friend and coworker who also recently, 2 months prior, had her husband diagnosed with ALS. So she was already two or three steps ahead of us in the battle, and they were very close friends of my husband and me. So it was, he obviously, my brother Patrick, knew what was ahead of him, but being the spiritual person and quirky person that he was going to do all he could to stay positive and to not let it get the best of him.
And I feel like that's a very common theme. This is a horrible group that you want to be welcomed into, the ALS family. It's both a blessing and a curse because nobody ever wants to come to us because they have ALS. But once they do, you are part of such an amazing family. And everyone I've met, and it's what you're saying about your brother, I mean, they are positive. They are hopeful. I mean, this disease is hitting the most amazing people. I will never understand it, but people will rally behind them, like exactly what you've done for your brother, to keep their story and to keep their memory alive.
Yes, he wanted to make sure to stay positive, and he started posting on Facebook. And he was also very quirky with a sense of humor, so he would have jokes. And he loved everything Irish, so a lot of the visitors, he called it Irish therapy. He had people over, and they'd have a toast. He never wanted to bring anybody down. But his inspiration when he started putting things on Facebook, it was almost like he was doing it for himself, but eventually it started to affect other people. He would post every day some kind of inspirational quote. And I think there's one on here in the pictures. Maybe if you'll put it up right here. My grace is sufficient for you. My power is made perfect in weakness. That was one of Patrick's posts that he put on. And it just, to me, that was the one that spoke the most to me about my brother, because my brother was a passive person. He was a very gentle person. And when he started losing some of his abilities, it's like he became strengthened. He would joke all the time. He was positive all the time, but he wasn't going to let it get the best of him. And it started to get contagious with people. Also, the other thing there, I have a therapist. Her name is Music. My brother Patrick loved music. His favorite band was the Beatles. But eventually he started using music as a therapy, a way to uplift himself, and he decided to share it with the people at the VA hospital. And he wrote in their newsletter once a month about the benefits of music therapy. And eventually he was honored by the VA. I think there's another picture of that, for his positive attitude and for his newsletters that he wrote.
I think it was, I'm not sure if it was Jessica Simpson, someone popped up and left in the comment that your brother was such an inspiration. So he really did touch so many people, and I love that. I keep saying it, but his legacy, his story, I mean, it just transcends everything. So I love that we get to keep his memory alive. We get to keep talking about him, and you are actually continuing on the fight in the name of your brother. So you started Team Patrick. I love that you're the captain of Team Patrick. So tell me about that. You guys started a walk team to get involved in his memory.
We did. I'm from a very large family. I have a ton of cousins and friends, and we were all set to have Team Patrick, and he passed away in February. And of course, the pandemic hit in March, where people started doing everything virtually. Mm-hmm. So we had to split up Team Patrick, and we had approximately 6 locations. This picture here is I live in Carlinville, Illinois, and these are my Carlinville friends and coworkers. And they are so wonderful. They said, you go and walk with your family. Your place is up there. And they just took care of everything and walked here in Carlinville. So everybody down in Carlinville got a team shirt, and they all got together and walked early that morning. Everybody in all locations got one of those little lanyards with my brother's picture on it. We were all together or apart. We walked to shorten the road for ALS. So
I love it. Do you have any idea how many people were on this walk? How many people came out for Team Patrick?
Oh no, this here is who came out. This is my pretty much immediate family and relations, and a couple friends and a couple of Patrick's high school friends who came out in Frankfort, Illinois. But my cousins in Indianapolis walked. We had somebody in North Dakota walking. My son in Michigan was walking. Rachel, Patrick's daughter, was in Florida, so they were walking there. We were sending a lot of pictures back and forth. My friend Ann in St. Louis sent a inspirational video for us very early in the morning. This is Carol. This is the Indianapolis group. Carol was our #1 fundraiser. Carol also knows someone very close to her family that is a little bit, was diagnosed. We found out right after Patrick's his celebration of life. So she is extremely passionate about getting funds and getting it stopped. She's an amazing person, but she took care of everything there was to do in Indianapolis and coordinated her family. She's from a very large family and got all our cousins together, and they all came out and walked.
I love it. And it's such a great idea. And Kendra just chimed in too. It flashed up at the bottom of our screen. She makes a great point in what you're saying. People really can walk from wherever they are. That is the
right.
one.
That's Rachel and her family from Florida. They sent that. They were walking in Florida that day.
I love that. And that's gonna stick around, guys, this year too. So no matter where you are, I mean, if you're watching this, if you're, in Indonesia, you're in Switzerland, you're in Indiana, you're in Michigan, wherever you are, if you are feeling this excitement and this inspiration, you want to walk on Team Patrick, or you want to start your own walk team, or you want to walk in memory of somebody that you know that passed away from ALS, or if you just want to support the cause, you really can walk from wherever you are. You just get outside, you walk a path, you take a photo, you send it in, and you're a part of the walk teams. So I do love that. So the virtual connection has been pretty darn strong. Nothing is keeping us away from spreading awareness, spreading the message, and getting out there and telling people stories like Patrick. So I'm so excited. I'm so excited that you guys are coming back. The Team Patrick is coming back for its second to do this again. And last time I checked, this is a little bit exciting. You guys, so you set a goal for yourself, for your team, to raise $5,000 by the walk. And at this point, you guys are 41.5% to your goal. That's
Yes.
pretty, that is so exciting.
Yes. Our family and friends are amazing. And like I said, Carol, she's the big fundraiser. So that a lot of that is her, but we're getting there. It's just amazing the way people reach out to you when they know you're struggling and your family's going through such a hard time. People are amazing.
It's so true. They really are. And we popped your link up. Oh, we lost it for a second. Yeah, hashtag Team Patrick. I love it. So the link's back up. So guys, if you guys are inspired, you want to either join the walk team or you want to donate to help them get to 100% of their goal. They're almost halfway there. Check out that link. We'll also add the link in the comments, but you can go and find them, Team Patrick 2021. Check that link out and you can donate. And really, there's no donation that is too small. Even every dollar gets you closer and closer to that goal. So check it out. Or hey, like I said, join it. Join Team Patrick.
Yeah, we'd love to have some more walkers.
Yes, from wherever you are. And especially now, this is the perfect month to be talking about Patrick, since you said he loves all things Irish. And this whole month, everybody is Irish. We've dedicated this to St. Patrick's Day. So in honor of Patrick, guys, let's jump on there. Let's give him $1. Let's give him some love. Let's join the walk team. Get yourself a Team Patrick shirt and get outside.
We'll get you one. If you sign up for our walk, we'll get you one.
Absolutely. I love it. So does Team Patrick have any exciting things coming up?
We are going to walk again, mainly in Frankfurt, except for the people that live too far away. They're going to go out and do their family thing wherever they're at. So that's going to be on the walk day on June 5th in the Chicago walk. So we will be out there, and then we'll probably, after last year's walk, we got together and just went and found an outdoor place to eat and hung around for a little bit. And then we went out and celebrated at my other sister's house. She kind of hosted us down. She has a little place down by the river, so we got to sit outside there. And Patrick was smiling down on us with the weather, of course, so we're counting on that again this year.
Well, you put it out there. He heard us, so he's absolutely going to look out for you guys. Now, I do want to ask you before you go, how did you guys find your way to the ALS Association after Patrick was diagnosed? What was that process like?
I believe they reached out. Terry was very proactive in getting Patrick all the help he could. Because Patrick was a veteran, he was helped out so much by the VA, and I'm almost sure it was probably a connection through the VA hospital.
Well, you were kind of welcomed into the family, right? So we were talking, Sarah was mentioning all these great things that the ALS Association actually does, and all of it's free of charge. Did you find that what they were providing for you was helpful? Were they this great source, this great lifeline to be able to really help you and Patrick through everything he was going through?
Terry would be able to answer that better than I would, but Patrick, with one of his things, he loved parties and family so much, he wanted to give a big family party. So they decided to make his birthday party a ALS fundraiser. Friends and family came, and for ALS Chicago, his birthday party raised over $10,000. So that was amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
That is so exciting.
Yeah.
Okay. Look at that. You know what? See, that again is such a testament to what an amazing man he is, that his friends just showed up to support in any way they could.
Like I tried to say before, it was something that it just kind of became contagious with everybody. His inspiration. I had old neighbors reach out to me and tell me they just enjoyed his Facebook post so much. He tried to roll with the punches with all the things that happened in his life. And so he tried to use comedy all the time. And he even named all of his medical equipment. He had, because everything had to have an Irish theme to it, he had Johnny Walker, and his electric wheelchair was Jameson, and he would do stuff like that all the time, and people would just laugh. He had a picture when he's in his Hoyer lift, and the quote, the thing on the bottom of it was Major Tom to ground control. And I think there's one picture in here where he meets his granddaughter for the first time. His daughter Rachel had a baby, and it was right when Patrick really needed something. And he posts on Facebook, he looks like Darth Vader, and he posts, Aria, I am your grandfather, you know, just kind of. So
that got me. I have to say that photo, that one got me.
There he is, yes. And there's Rachel, and that's when he was meeting Aria, because Rachel lives in Florida, and that's my mother. So there's 4 generations there from our family, which is pretty cool too.
I know, it's Julie saying how awesome that is. What a great sense of humor, and that's so true. I love that he could fight this, because this is not an easy battle to fight. And if anyone's ever been around anyone that's had ALS, it is not easy. So to be able to have that sense of hope, that sense of humor, and really make the best of it, that's pretty special.
Mm-hmm. He told me that if he gave up he didn't have his voice, he didn't have his muscles anymore, but he still had his laugh. ALS couldn't take that from him. So
never.
Yeah. That's our we used to have a family picnic all the time with the Indianapolis cousins, and they all came for a party because Patrick could no longer go to the park where we always had our picnic. So once he lost his mobility, the picnic came to Patrick. So another symbol of what a great family we have.
That's true.
And how everybody came together, and his friends, his high school friends, came to his celebration of life and to the walk. So that was awesome. He has a good friend, Care, that arranged for all the high school friends to come. And that was cool too.
Well, I love getting to talk to you, Erin, and you really have taken tragedy and completely turned it around into a story of triumph, and what you've done with Team Patrick and what you're continuing to do and keeping his memory alive. So Patrick was so lucky to have you as a sister, and thank you for sharing the story and giving us all a laugh and giving us a little glimpse into Patrick's life. This was so exciting. I didn't get to meet him, and I'm sad because he sounds like an amazing man. So I'm going to keep that story in my heart. And now every time I think of something Irish or see some Jack Daniels or something, I'm going to have a little chuckle for Patrick.
Yeah, a little Irish therapy, he would call it. Well, thank you so much for having us on, and thank you to everyone who decides to support Team Patrick. We welcome everyone and appreciate everybody's outpouring of love that we've seen throughout all this journey.
It's so true. Julie just popped up there, big fat love. I mean, that's a story for another day. I'll have to tell you guys, but that's my ALS connection. And I think my friend Frank that passed away from ALS and your brother would have loved each other. Their sense of humor was so amazing. And
this is Jean Marie. That's my sister. That's Patrick's sister too.
Oh, hi, Patrick's sister. Well, he had some big fat love. So I know that Patrick's story is transcending all of this, and Patrick is giving out big fat love, looking down on us. And you guys, the link is back up here. So if you want to get involved, if you want to either join Team Patrick or if you want to donate to Team Patrick, make sure you check out that link. It's right below us, right here. Check them out.
Okay.
They are almost halfway to the goal. So let's get them there. Let's get them 100% of the way to their 5,000.
Susan, I just want to mention one more thing. You were talking about the 90 minutes, and I talked about Charlie and Kathy, and I talked about cousin Carol. Now my sister Susie has some good friends. Her husband was just diagnosed, and my other coworker Monica, I believe, just found out that she has another person that she learned has been diagnosed. So it's something that I feel like Patrick got me into this, but we have to keep going to help all the other people that are going through it. We had an outpouring of love, and now it's our turn to give back.
So that's why I keep saying it. I sound like a broken record, but it really is a legacy of his that's continuing to go on, because it brought you into this fight, and you're going to continue fighting in Patrick's name for everyone that continues to have to battle this. So thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for what Team Patrick's doing. You are such a huge help to this chapter and continuing on in his name. So thank you so much for everything.
Thank you, Susan.
Absolutely. You guys, make sure there's a link again before it disappears. Make sure you jot that down and check out Team Patrick. You want to be a part of this.
And happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. Everybody have a drink for Patrick.
Yep. You would love that.
Love it. Have a great
Okay.
weekend.
Thank you.
You guys, I love hearing these stories so much. And like it's terrifying to me to hear how she's saying just in the course of our we have another donation. Thank you to the Stud Muffin for donating to our Tiltify campaign. I love it. That's awesome. So Stud Muffin, I have a feeling he's the one from Bali, Indonesia. So thank you so much for your donation, guys. Again, make sure you check us out on the Tiltify, the About Us page, the donation. Thank you is all I have to say. I can't tell you enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you for doing this. Because again, every single dollar helps. It gets us closer to finding that cure and helping all of the families like Patrick out there. And so I would say, Erin Simpson, Team Patrick. I love it. Yeah, thank you guys for sharing your beautiful story. It was. And it is so scary to hear that just in the course of that conversation, she was bringing up all these other people that she has encountered that are now getting this diagnosis. It just doesn't stop. It keeps coming. So we need you guys, we need the viewers, we need you to spread the word, put it out there, put some good vibes out there to keep getting as many donations, as many volunteer hours as we can until we can really just end this disease because it is so nasty and there is no cure. I'm going to keep saying that. The minute you are diagnosed, you are fighting a battle and there is no cure. So we want to change that and you guys are a part of changing that. And another little plug I'm going to sneak in there real quick. So we do these really cool things called caregiver boot camps, and we have another one coming up on March 13th. Because of yet again COVID, it is all turned virtual. So it's going to be a webinar, but it's really great. So for any of you guys that are watching this, or any of you that know someone that's been diagnosed, and you know a caregiver, someone that's going, thank you, Mazanis, for thanks, Mazanis. We got another Tiltify donation to the campaign. Thank you guys so much. This is so exciting seeing all of this roll in. I feel like a little kid geeking out over all this. Thank you, Mazanis. The Caregivers Bootcamp, though. So this is really important for anybody that is currently in a caregiver position for somebody with ALS, or if you know anyone, pass this information on to them. They want to sign up for this. It is free. It's on March 13th. It is a webinar. There's going to be Q&A sessions. There's going to be all kinds of really helpful information for the caregivers. There's a lot of experts coming on to talk. You can still sign up for that. It is not too late. If you head to the alsachicago.org and you'll follow the prompts. And like I said, they do these, I believe, maybe twice a year. I could have just given you wrong information, so I'm sorry if I did. But you don't want to miss it, especially if you're in the role of a caregiver. This is really, really helpful. So check out alsachicago.org for the next Caregiver Bootcamp on March 13th. And this is so exciting. I just feel I have so much I want to talk to you guys. I love that you can comment and respond back to me. So I want to just go on forever. I can't even believe the show's almost over. So we have to get to our next guest. This is another one. This one hits me. This one hits me really hard, actually. So I want to welcome our next guest. Sam. Sabrina Johnson is a mother of two from the Chicago suburbs. Her world and the world of her family was turned upside down with 3 letters. 3 letters that no one ever wants to hear. ALS. Sabrina turned her stubbornness of always needing to have the last word in an argument into an argument with the disease. Her father was diagnosed with ALS in 2017, and in that moment, she went from daddy's girl to daddy's voice. Please welcome Sabrina Johnson.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you so much for being here. There was that beautiful picture of your dad.
Yes, thank you.
Oh my gosh. I don't even know where to begin. I have so many things I want to say to you. Let me just start by saying, I wish I would have met you so much sooner. I don't know why it took us this long to meet each other.
I agree. Absolutely.
I already adore you. Well, so I was looking up your website. We have so many things to talk about. I want to get into this. I'm going to admit it. I don't cry much, hardly ever. I'm kind of an ice queen. I was sitting in my bed, ugly tear crying. This one hit me. I don't know. Oh my gosh. I don't know if it reminded me of my friend. I don't know what was going on, but I was crying some ugly tears here because this is one of those moments where you just feel there are so many things in life that we don't understand and we will never understand. And people being diagnosed, families, loved ones. And like I said, it's always the good people. It's always the best people that are being given this battle. And I don't even understand it, but something amazing is coming out of this, and you have done so many amazing things out of this. So before we dive into all that, tell me about your dad. Tell everybody about this story.
Sure. So he was the most stubborn South Side Chicago man you would ever meet in your life, but the most amazing father. And I think that's why I kind of decided to fight so hard, was because he was such an amazing dad that the daughter in me wants to flip that role. So growing up, I was sick as a child, and he was the type. Hi, Thor. He was the type of dad that dropped.
How much
Yeah.
they love you.
Yeah, dropped everything for me, for my younger brother. My dad worked nights, lived off of 2 naps basically to work and take care of my brother and I. And so when he got sick, the instinct in me was to do the exact same and to just take care of him. And so in his passing, it took a little bit of time for me to accept and realize and come to terms. And then I had that like aha moment, and I was like, wait a second, just because he's not here doesn't mean I can't fight for him. And I'm kind of like that, once you put your mind to something person, I'm like all or nothing. So you're either going to get all of me or you're going to get nothing of me. And I just have decided that I'm going to go full force with this and continue sharing about him, especially so I have 2 little boys, a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old. And one of the biggest things that I want them to see is that he's still here through me and through them, and in positive ways. I don't want them to ever look back on the memories of it being a sad thing, or that it was always just a Papa passing. I want them to see him as who he was, and who he was my dad and their grandpa. And that's what I want to continue with this. I never want him to be just seen as the person with ALS. And I know he wouldn't want to be remembered that way. So I feel like the way I can stop that is by continuing his story and fighting for that, as a way for people to kind of remember that people with ALS are people first. And just because they might have a wheelchair or use walkers and all of those things, they're still people. They still are somebody's somebody. And that's why sharing stories and spreading awareness has become so important to me, because while he might not be here with us, there is somebody who is still here with us. And that's who I want to fight for, is that person.
I love that. It's true. You are out there fighting for the somebodies of the world. And we need that. And we need all of you that are watching this to jump on board with that too, because you said it's somebody's father, it's somebody's mother and brother and sister and cousin and uncle. And they need a voice. They need a louder voice. They need people shouting from the rooftops that we need to give attention to this disease and we need to find a cure. You called your dad Tone. I love that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna read, this is straight off your website, because I just it was like a gut punch reading all of these things. So you say in there, Tone's voice stopped so that mine could open. My voice opened for those with ALS. My voice got louder, my understanding stronger, that there are people out there sitting exactly where I was on November 28th, 2017, when we heard the doctor say, I'm sorry, but you have ALS. The 3 little letters that changed your life. So take me back to November 28th, 2017, when that diagnosis came. What was going through your head, through your dad's head? What was happening in that moment?
A lot. So we knew something was wrong. So parts of me kind of felt relieved, because we kind of got an answer. So the type A-ness of me was like, okay, perfect. We know what's wrong. We can figure this out. We can plan. We can make a plan. Let me go home and like figure all this out. So I liked that. I liked knowing what was wrong. The daughter in me was crushed. And I'm the oldest of two. And so I feel like I've always had the instinct in me of taking care of people. So I felt like, okay, I need to put on that brave face for everybody in the room. Because if I crack, my brother cracks. If my brother cracks and I crack, my mom cracks, and then everything falls. So it really hit me later that night when I was reading a little bit more about it and could start to comprehend. And I just kept every time I'd Google it, I'd try and search something else to see, like, maybe this website will tell me it's not terminal. Maybe this website will tell me it's not. And all I kept reading was a life expectancy of 2 to 5 years. And I'm sitting there at the time with a 2-year-old and thinking, at most, I have 5 years left with my dad. I'm not even 30. I have one child. Do I want more? Do I not? Where is life going to go? And so it was just kind of like a rush of emotions standing still. And then we didn't even get 5 years. We didn't even get 2 years. So it kind of had like a whirlwind of emotions put into a time frame where everything felt like, okay, I want to live the rest of my life with my dad in as little bit of time as we can without it being strictly about him being sick, which was a hard balance to figure out for a little bit.
And how did he spend those last times with you and the family?
So Thor, my oldest, and I started going down to my parents every Wednesday. So we live about an hour and a half from my parents. So we started doing that. My brother started going on Tuesdays. So we made sure that somebody was always kind of around, something for him to look forward to. And to just kind of, we wanted to make it also as like normal too, as we could, where it wasn't so like out of the blue, all of a sudden we're around all the time, because we knew he was the type that he didn't want that. So we were trying to also respect what he would want, and he would not want us all of a sudden 7 days a week, we're all just staring at each other. Mm-hmm. So trying to find that good balance of what was right for everybody. So my son and I started doing like our weekly visits and kind of keeping up with that, trying to make like a little bit more of like special moments and that type of stuff. And just kind of taking some of those extra times, before maybe we'd leave right after dinner, if we'd go over there for dinner, maybe staying an extra hour, trying to hold on to those moments a little bit more as time would go on. But the good thing is, like, we were always extremely close. So the nice thing was it wasn't like we were faking it, and so that was something I kind of enjoyed in that moment, was our relationship, if anything, got just stronger because we've always been close. And now we are kind of put in a situation to continue that and to continue to like bond through our sadness. So I've always appreciated my relationship with him, and I am glad that we are kind of able to have the last couple years to like grow together as well. And him watching me as a mom, that type of stuff, I'm glad that he got to have those moments with me as well.
I love that. Yeah, I know it was precious because you guys at that point really are spending every moment like it's the last. So that's amazing. And what you've done since then has been so incredible. So I'm just so impressed by you, because you've taken this story and all the things you've learned throughout your father's journey with ALS, and you've got this really great section on your website that talks about the things you wish you would have known. So the resources you wish you would have known. And I love that you're sharing that with everyone going through this. So tell me about maybe one or two of the things that would have been really helpful that now and you can bless other families with that knowledge. What are the most crucial things about dealing with ALS, some resources that are really helpful?
So the first thing that comes to mind, like one thing I wish we would have done right away was birthday cards, anniversary cards. I wish right away we would have had my dad write out a bunch of birthday cards, like even just sign his name right away, store them for a later date. Um, but when you're in that moment, you always think you have time. And I remember even saying to my mom, like, "Oh, we have time for that. We could do that later." And you don't. And I think that's something that I really wish I would have realized. You never know when that last time is going to be. So, one day their left arm is going to stop working. One day their voice is going to stop. We're all told that from the beginning, but nobody tells you when. And that is something that I kind of wish I would have known. I'm not known, but reflected on a little bit more, was not necessarily knowing what was happening, but also realizing that the timeline of it is something that to not wait for certain things. Or I wish I would have, with certain even like resources, reached out sooner for things. Like the ALS Association was amazing with loaner chairs, with we had like a loaner wheelchair, we had a loaner like lazy boy that helped sit my dad up, which was so amazing because it was something that our patient care coordinator, Peggy, reached out to us about, which was so amazing. And that was something that I've been forever grateful for her, because she told us about so many resources, where I feel now, being on the outside looking in, there's so many people that don't know about resources that are out there. So that's why I like try and push that at people, where I'm like, do you know what's there? Like, let me show you what's available, because there are so many amazing resources that are available to people. And I just don't want people to struggle, especially financially, with things when they don't have to, and they have an amazing association, amazing support system that is there to help them.
It is true. When that diagnosis does come, it's sort of this whirlwind. Everything is going on. There's so many emotions. There's so much on your plate to handle, and the ALS Association helps you with that. Like you said, Peggy, there's so many great care coordinators that take all of that off of your plate. They get you the resources. They get you the financial help to get this equipment for free. They are there to really hold your hand and walk you through this, because the focus is on you. You spending time with your dad, you doing the things that are most important, and let the ALS Association really help you with the nuts and bolts of everything.
Absolutely. And it was really nice to have kind of like that one-stop shop, that for my mom, she could make one phone call and ask, like, okay, what do we do in this situation? Where do we, and people were figuring it out for her. And so that was really nice, because you do have to think quickly, and things do have to change at a very fast rate. And so it's so nice to be able to have an amazing team that's willing to work just as fast, if not faster, to help you and your family get everything that you need as fast as you need it.
It's so true. I knew this was going to happen. I love talking to you. We're starting to run out of time. Before we go, there's a couple more things I want to get to real quick. Munch Madness. This is so exciting. And tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So Munch Madness is going on right now, that the ALS Association, we're doing which area around Chicago, which Chicagoland area can fight hardest for a cure. So we just had one restaurant in Joliet on the 1st. On March 4th, there is Bueno Beef in St. Charles that is going to, if you mention ALS, a portion of that order is going to be donated. On March 10th, it is going to be the Gurney location of Chipotle. And then on March 23rd, there are 3 locations of Lou Malnati's, the Grays Lake, Buffalo Grove, and River North, that if you follow the ALS Greater Chicago Chapter on Instagram and Facebook have posted all of the events, and just by mentioning the codes that are posted on there are also going to be donating a portion of all of the orders to the association this month.
I love that. And Kendra, I second that. She texted me that she loves to eat so much. I'm jazzed for this event. Me too. And you are mentioning all of some of my favorite restaurants.
I was like, this is like 3 meals I don't have to cook this month, so I am sold.
Exactly. So for anyone in the area, for all of you Illinois folk, if you check out those restaurants, check out the list. It'll be on alsachicago.org as well. And you can hit those restaurants on those dates, and they are donating a portion to the chapter because, again, you have now seen why it is so important to donate to help out. And why not get to eat for the ALS Association? My favorite thing in the whole world.
Yes, it's a win-win.
It is such a win-win. And before I let you go, I'm going to steal one more question from you.
Mhm.
Another fun thing that you are doing, so I'm going to stick your website up there. So you have really turned into a huge, amazing ALS advocate that is out there on the front line, just doing so many great things for this cause and keeping your father's memory alive. There it is. Yep. SabrinaJohnsonAdvocate.com. You guys check it out. She's got so many great resources. If you know someone who was diagnosed, direct them here as well as the alsachicago.org website, because Sabrina's got some really amazing resources and she can help you through this process. She has been there herself. But you also touch on your website about speaking to children with ALS.
Mhm.
And I'm really intrigued by this because it is true. It is such a horrible disease, and there's a lot of bad things that happen with it that aren't exactly something you want to sit down and talk to kids about. So how do you explain this? You had been a young baby at the time, you have more kids now. How do you explain ALS to children?
Yes, it was a tough one. So Thor was 2.5 when my dad was diagnosed and was 4 when he passed. So my husband and I definitely had to figure out, tough conversations to have with a child that was hard for us as adults to even comprehend. We learned right away that honesty was the best thing that we could do, and just turning what we knew as adults into ways that they could comprehend it was the easiest. So we always referred to it as Papa's bad bug, and that he had this bad bug that as he started to use a walker and a wheelchair, was his bad bug stopped his legs from working. And we just, as everything started to change, we would explain it to him. And if he asked a question, we never would lie. We would never hide it. We would always explain it in a way that we felt a child could understand, because he was seeing it firsthand. He was seeing it weekly just as much as I was seeing it. So I always felt that explaining it, I would want it to be explained to me. And so I wanted to treat him the same way. When my dad had his feeding tube put in, we let Thor feed my dad just like we would, and explained everything to him and why. So we kind of use like the first then method with things of, first this is what happens and then this is what's going to happen. And for Thor, then it just kind of became like, this is Papa. He thought nothing really of it. And I loved that. I loved that for him. It was just, Papa was in a wheelchair, and when we take Papa, we take this van. So we just learned that treat children the way that you as an adult would like to be treated. And it's better off for everybody in the long run then, because the worst thing that I feel like I could do as a parent is to lie to my child, because I'm lying to myself. And I wanted him to see all different types of emotions as well, because we're all going to show emotions in life. So with feeling emotions and acting with different emotions, it was very important for me to show him when we were sad or what we were feeling in children's realms of comprehending things. We had great talks at the end about what was going on and where, like Papa's breathing was changing, or when he started having different machines around. And so we just try to really sit down and also give him the chance to ask questions as well and to just answer them because they're curious, and being as calm as we could be answering them and not being angry if they're acting out when something's going on, I felt like was the best way that we could respond in that situation. Because just like as us for adults, we're all confused and we're all upset in the moment. So also giving them that time to comprehend and to show their confusion as well, and letting them ask what's going on in their mind, I felt like was the best way for us to kind of get through it as a family.
Oh, I want to end on Sabrina. Can you maybe give me one of your father's favorite quotes or life lessons that we can end on in memory
Oh,
of?
trying to think of one I can say on TV.
No.
No, the one that I would say that what comes to mind would always be that you need to cook low and slow. So if you're cooking anything, you can't rush perfection. You just can't do it.
Straight from Tone himself, guys.
Straight from Tone's mouth to yours.
Low and slow. Maybe this month, don't cook. Go out for Munch Madness and hit some of those restaurants. But come April, when you guys are back in the kitchen cooking, take Tone's advice.
Yeah, drive low and slow to all the Munch Madness locations and think of Tone as you eat some fine Chicago pizza on the 23rd.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I'm going to stick this up there one more time, guys. Check out SabrinaJohnsonAdvocate.com. Reach out to her. She's there for you as a resource as well. If you have any questions, she's happy to share. And if you guys have any events that you would love to have an advocate come out and speak on behalf of, Sabrina is great with ALS advocacy and education. So thank you so much, Sabrina.
Thank you. Hope you have a great night. Bye, everybody. Good to see you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, guys, we went over a little bit. I love these messages coming through. You guys, I'm hoping I wasn't missing anybody, but I want to thank everybody again for all of the donations tonight on Tiltify. Thank you guys so much to Kevin, to the Mazantis, to I think Kendra, if I'm remembering the names right, to all of you. If I missed your name, I'm so sorry, but everyone that gave a donation, it means so much. Thank you so much. And you guys, don't forget to mark your calendars, because the first and the third Tuesday of every month, we are going live with Season Sunflower Hour, and you guys are not going to want to miss the next one. I am telling you this right now. So mark your calendars for March 16th, 7 p.m. Be right back here with us in the spirit of all things that are Irish. And for the month of March, we're going to be in the kitchen, and I'm going to be learning how to cook some original, authentic Irish food. There may or may not be some Irish step dancing happening, possibly some bagpipe players. You never know what could happen. I am not a cook, so you want to tune in to see that, because this alone, me being in the kitchen, is going to be hysterical, because I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing in the kitchen. So hopefully I'll learn a thing or two. So make sure you guys tune in on March 16th for the next episode. And again, if you have any questions, throw them in the comments before we get off here. Otherwise, check out alsachicago.org, and you guys post, be on social media. Remember Sunflower Hour, hashtag Sunflower Hour, ALS chapter, all the great plugs. Thank you guys again so much for joining us from all over the country. I can't wait to see you guys again on March 16th. And until then, be bright and shine your light, guys. Thanks for joining us.